please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We get a little live before lock. It's Friday. I would say this game week is just as confusing as the one we just witnessed. We had the trade deadline, so you weren't sure who was going to be on what team. And this weekend, we don't know who's playing. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Ghost, how are we doing?
Doing great, Mike. Happy to be here.
Yeah, ready to rock one more time. Let's set the table a little bit for what we're gonna be doing today. First and foremost, the people want to know what's the giveaway situation. It's gonna seem ironic because he's not back yet. But like the stream, subscribe, put hashtag Gnome is back. Gnome's gonna be joining us momentarily. We got the Gnome show back, joining me and Ghost here. And we'll be going over everything you need to know for this game week. So what we'll do is go over a few of our favorite value plays, a few of our favorite mid-range plays, and then a couple of our favorite up-top plays. And then we will get into some projections. We'll go over injury news. We'll actually do the injury news first. And then we will do questions and answers from people in the chat. And as always, right, we got 83 watching right now. We did it on Monday. If we get up over 200, live viewers, we'll make it a rare tier giveaway. If we stay under 200, it'll be a limited tier. But let's hit that 200 mark, baby. Let's do it again. Let's quickly hit some of the injury news of what is coming down the pike here. We're going to be over here on Underdog. We got Luca, which luckily we got this information already. Luca is out. This is going to be our second game with Kyrie. Is that right? Second game with Kyrie and the Mavericks?
Yep.
Or maybe third. I can't remember if they played the Jazz. But anyways, whatever. We got Luca is out for the first game. He's going to be questionable for the second game. That's good luck to you. Giannis is probable. Joel Embiid is still questionable right now because, of course, he is. Tatum is probable. Booker's not on the injury report. The Spurs rested everybody. Keldon Johnson's out. I think Sohan's out. Romeo Langford's out. Also, Trey Jones is out, I believe. Rudy Gobert, Jordan Clarkson, Jakob Poeltl, all questionable. Mike Conley is going to play. Lou Dort's questionable. Kyle Anderson's questionable. Robert Williams is in. Al Horford is questionable. Let me just go over to the Twitter streets quickly. Make sure I didn't miss any last-minute things that came in here. We got Monty Morris is not on the injury report for tomorrow. Kuzma is listed out tomorrow. Okay. Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, both questionable for Saturday's game. Josh Hart will not play tonight. George Hill's expected to make his Pacers debut on Monday, so that's not helpful. Okay, Poeltl is available to play tonight. Jordan Wire is expected to make his Pacers debut. Mark Williams is starting. Can we take the Mark Williams victory lap here for a second? Which a home run, right? We called it. Thank you, Charlotte Hornets, for doing it. All right, I think that's like most of the injury news. I don't think we have two. I guess Jalen McDaniels is going to play tonight. Jaylen Brown's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Wiseman will play tonight. Sounds like he's going to play the second game. I don't know. Out of all of that stuff, anything that stands out to you for news that's important for this weekend?
I know the Spurs have basically no players tonight, so I think that there's going to be a lot of value there. A lot of those guys aren't playing still. What else we got? I think Jakob Poeltl is going to be really interesting to see like what his role is on that team and how it affects everyone else, because I feel like he's really good, but it's going to be interesting to see how that affects Siakam and some of the other big guys, because they had an interesting rotation going there that like we kept playing for value. So interested to see how he fits in there.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a interesting time this weekend figuring out what the new rotations are, right? Like people are asking about Jaden McDaniels. Is he gonna be like how active is he gonna be? Like, is he just gonna pick up the Matisse Thybulle minutes because that wasn't too many minutes? Is it limiting like what they're doing with PJ Tucker? Like, I really don't know what his activity is gonna be in the rotation. And like, listen, we're celebrating Mark Williams. That's the thing I'm the most excited about. Plumlee was traded to the Clippers, so they announced Mark Williams was going to start. But listen, I've seen the Hornets do weird stuff, so it's Nick Richards could play 35 minutes tonight, like you have, I'd honestly say like it's worth stashing Nick Richards because there's a real world in which either Mark Williams sucks, which I don't think he does, but he could, he's young, or they just like 24 minutes apiece,
Yeah, Steve Clifford's one of those coaches that could just get frustrated with Mark Williams after 5 minutes and not play him the rest of the game. So we could see 30 minutes of Kai Jones or something like that. So I'm hoping that eventually over the season, they'll just be like, all right, time to fire up the tank and play our young guys. So like, let's get Mark Williams some growth, but we'll see what happens in the first game.
Oh, I'm realizing I thought I sent our man Gnome the invite over there. This might be on me, guys, that Gnome's not here already. That's my bad. I could have sworn I sent this to him second ago, a little while ago, but whatever. Okay. Sorry about that, Gnome. If you're watching right now and being like, hey, what the hell, bro? He's coming in. Taco Slay is saying I'm on the Nick Richards train. You know what we should do actually before and this might enter into some of your value plays. Want to touch on the Spurs a little bit? I know you said that's going to be like one of their weird spots, right? Because we have no Keldon Johnson, we have no Jeremy Sohan, no Romeo Langford, Trey Jones. So where are you targeting there with the Spurs?
Yeah, so one of my top value plays of the day was Zach Collins, which I think a lot of people are on. He's pretty much got the center position to himself now with Poto gone. I saw they just signed Gorgie Jang today. So I'm sure he won't get that many minutes, but that'll probably be his direct backup. And your boy Malachi Branham too is like looking really good with how thin they are today. I'm looking at the Underdog tweet right now that they have like the 8 or 9 guys that they have available are pretty much all like backups and reserves. So
yeah, it'll be curious what they do. I know they also have Devontae Graham, right? Devontae Graham was added into the rotation. Is he like they say he's available to play? What does that mean though? Is he's new? So is he playing like 5 minutes? Is he playing 40 minutes? Yeah, Zach Collins is the one that stood out the most to me. Zach Collins, Brownham, and Bates Job too. Bates Job, I'm gonna continue to run him out. I know he it's a little disappointing this past game week, but still solid. Basie is out and Roby will back up Collins. Roby's going to probably play the backup 5 as well, but he's also starting at the 4. So, well, I don't know, dude. It's the Spurs, man. Spurs can do whatever they want. All right, couple things here as more people are trickling in. We get Gnome up in here. We just a reminder, you can find all of our stuff in the show notes, right? So the projections we're going to be using tonight are Momentum Labs. You can find a link to momentumlabs.app right in the show notes. You can sign up for the premium to get access to these sweet stuff that we'll be using. You can join our Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, let me drop a link to that right now. Sign up for the VIP. Do all of that stuff so you can get everything you need. The Brownham thing is where I think I'm gonna put most of my eggs in my so rare basket anyways. Let me share screen here and just remind the people we got 128 watching. That means we are 30. No, that's bad math. 52 away. No, what the fuck am I doing? 60, 72, 73. Jesus, guys. Still, it's bad news bears over here. Like the stream, subscribe, but hashtag Gnome is back into the chat. If we get up over 200, rare tier. It's a limited tier. All right, let's start. Ghost, what is your favorite, as I pull up the projections here, what's like your favorite value spot that you're looking at right now?
Yeah, so besides Zach Collins, which is probably top of my list right now, I was looking at Colin Sexton on Utah and looking at them moving Mike Conley, they moved Jared Vanderbilt, they moved Malik Beasley. They really only got Russell Westbrook back, who I think they're already bought out or they're in the process of doing. So not a lot of players coming back in that trade. And then you could have Jordan Clarkson, who is questionable. I think he might be out as well. Yeah. So I think Colin Sexton will be in the starting lineup and is coming off a huge game. So nice value play there at 19.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. The sex god finally getting unleashed here. Speaking of sex gods, we got our guy Gnome up in here. Gnome, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
How about that intro? For a segue, baby?
It's a good intro.
Hey, right? Intro. All right.
Yeah,
so we were just getting into some of the value post-trade and stuff. And really the only situation we've talked about is Spurs, and Ghost has mentioned Sexton. But looking at some of these cheap guys, like or the lower cap guys, lower L10s, what's been like piquing your interest this slate?
So I think this week is like a holiday for the low cap guys, right? There's so many
Yeah.
good plays. It's confusing. I mean, there's the Spurs guys, obviously. The one who stood out to me the most, I think, is Blake Wesley. What do you guys
Blake
think of
Wesley,
him?
yeah, he's the one we haven't actually talked about too much. Who I played, yeah, he's got an incredible projection right now. Kappa 6 projection at 28. Talk to me a little bit about your Wesley love.
I just think if he gets the minutes, he can triple or get about 20 or so or 20 plus solo points.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. I mean, I played him in like DFS early on too, and then he got hurt right away. I think he got a concussion like right at one of the first times I played him. But I know the Spurs do like him. Because we were talking about those guys, let me pull up Brownham and Bates Jop. Those are some of my favorite dudes down in this level. So Malachi, I believe his cap's up to an 18 now. He's getting a cap of 18, projection of 25.5. I like him. I think the Spurs like him, so that's kind of why I like him too. I feel like his minutes are safe. And then Bates Jop is a cap of 19, a projection of 27. And I kind of agree with you, Gnome. Like if we look down here at the very bottom, we don't have those same cheat codes that we once have, even though we see a lot of green here, right? I mean, well, Fontecchio, baby. Fontecchio, the cap of 2, projection of 12.5. Are you kidding me? But besides that, right, that Blake Wesley, like the one you mentioned, is popping a little bit. Dasheen Nix, but man, we've done that already. And then Jaden Hardy's been fine. Sam Hauser's projecting well. I don't know. Anybody else down there, Ghost, that has been sticking out to you?
I still like Jaden Hardy at only an 8 cap, and Luca's still out.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I agree.
Oh, go ahead on that, Gnome.
No, I was just gonna say I agree. Hardy's still a really good play.
Yeah, I do too. I have Gnome is actually asking me about Hardy. Let me pull him up. Right, he's got a cap of 9. He should be right around here, right? Or is his cap higher than that?
8.
Oh, 8. Cap of 8, projection at a little under 14. I mean, especially if Luca misses both games, I think that gives him. I like having 2 cracks at that. That would be pretty nice. It like clearly with what's his name, with Kyrie arriving, and then they were letting Theo Pinson get a lot of run in that last game.
He was cooking.
I know, and he was doing a lot. So those are the things that gave me a little bit of pause. But again, with a cap of 8, I mean, listen, Hardy put up 50 last time or 48, whatever it was. Like, it was a great play. I still think he's a solid play. But I do wonder like how much time left do we have with Hardy, right? So when Luca and Kyrie back, is he still earning some minutes, or is he like pretty much obsolete? So that was just where my hesitation lied. But I'm also playing him in limited, like I'm still playing him out there. But I agree with you. I think we're living in mostly the mid-range here. Like Sammy Hauser, I do not trust this. I mean, I know Al's questionable and Jaylen Brown's out, but I mean, that is 24. Do you guys have any thoughts on like the Celtics situation right now?
I was curious how you felt about Muscala coming over there. And what
love Muscala, baby. I think Muscala is actually like a pretty good get for them as a playoff like play. I'm not trying to get Muscala into my lineups right now, though. I don't like Muscala that much, you know.
What's his cap?
Muscala, I think he's not too far from here. Where is he? All right, Muscala has he's not projecting at all. He's got a cap of 13, so it looks like he's not playing this weekend. So there you go. Let's do the Hornets things because I wanted to talk about Mark Williams here for a second. So his cap's up to 20. So it's not really
play.
Yeah, dude. I mean, listen, we've been banging this drum for a while. They finally got rid of Plumlee. I swear to God, if he plays under 20 minutes, I'm throwing the computer. Like, they have to play him. But I think he is an absolute smash, even in limited minutes. You know, like even if he only plays like 22 to 24 minutes. He's just so productive in his time out there.
Yeah, I think like point per fantasy. I mean, I'm sorry, fantasy point per minute. I mean,
yeah,
he's a monster. I don't have a way to check exactly what it is right now.
Yeah,
but I remember he had like games. Correct me if I'm wrong. When he played like 22 minutes and had like 40 solo points. Like he gets plenty of blocks, rebounds. It's probably my favorite play in the entire slate. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. The blocks too is what makes his ceiling so high. Where are you landed on the Mark Williams Ghost?
I've been driving the Mark Williams bandwagon all year. I wanted the Bulls to draft him in the beginning, so I think he's a huge play, especially while his cap still remains kind of reasonable if he does start producing. You know.
Yeah, Absolutely. Let's the other guy I wanted to talk about, and then also for people dropping questions in the chat, we're just going to go through a couple more plays, and then we'll get to some Q&As. But I mentioned him at the top. Nick Richards, I also think it's like a decent stash here because his cap is so low, and he's now the only backup big that they got. It's just him and Mark Williams. So I do like Nick Richards quite a bit. Also just as like a stash in case Mark Williams doesn't pan out. I don't know. The other guy the chat was asking a lot about too. Should we talk about Abaji? I guess like the Jazz in general outside of Sexton, right? So he's got a cap of 12, projection of 21. How are we feeling about the Jazz in general?
I like the Jazz. I mean, I think that there's a lot of room for usage with all those guys gone. Like they're missing a huge chunk of who used to produce for them. And I just don't feel like they got that much back in. So I think that there's plenty of room for guys like that to step up.
Yeah. What about you, Gnome?
I think there's a good upside there with many players. Abaji could give you like double his cap. I think it's at 12, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he can definitely get you 20 or more. I think Sexton, when for some reason this year in Utah, even when he got the minutes, we still haven't seen him like blowing up any game. But I remember when he was in the Cavs and he was like the man, he had like 40-point games, like real 40 points, like not just solo points, right? So yeah, I think if he gets the opportunity and if he's like the number one guy, then the upside is huge. Like he can give you a really, really high score.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, especially if Clarkson is out. If Clarkson is out, it's just like lock and load because Clarkson is, I mean, he's just like poor man's Clarkson, right? So he's going to, he's just going to chuck if he gets out there. So I love that. Let's dive into the mid-range a little bit. So like a cap of 20 or higher. Who are some of your favorite play? No, you can go first for this one. Who's your favorite play in this range?
So I mentioned him before. Obviously, Mark Williams. I don't need to say, repeat it. He's definitely my favorite, but I also really like Killian Hayes.
Okay.
I just think with the cap at 23, we've seen what he can do. Like several weeks ago when he was starting and getting the minutes, I think we've seen plenty of games when he had 40+ over points, and just playing the Spurs in this lineup, it's just like this could be like just such a high scoring game. Then I think it's a really, really solid play.
Yeah, I love that spot. Ghost, what about you? What mid-range guys are you looking at right now?
So one team that was interesting me there was Portland, and we kind of skipped over him in the lower tier. But at 11, you liked Nasir Little previous weeks. I kind of like him this week, especially with a lot of their small forwards and wings kind of gone there. They moved Josh Hart, they moved Gary Payton Jr. or the second. So you got Nasir Little who could have a big opportunity, and then I also think that Jeremy Grant's cap at like 28 is super attractive.
Yeah, so Jeremy Grant's kind of fun. Yeah, he's a cap of 29, projection of 38 almost. And he is, man, I mean, his cap is like up in the 40s, like high 40s earlier this season. I think one thing that's been weird with Grant lately is he's not been scooping up the peripheral stats. Like you need him to score like 35 actual points. But with no Nurk, with now Josh Hart, who is like a rebound guy, and Drew Eubanks is just, I don't know, what's he going to do, And so I agree. I kind of like Jeremy Grant in that spot. That's a good call. For me in the mid-range, I was kind of having a tough time with this week. There wasn't anybody that like really, really stood out. And I thought everybody just kind of like projects well. And I know we already talked about Zach Collins in the 20 range. He was somebody that stood out a little bit. I kind of like Derek White tonight. And
what's his cap at?
He's been playing really good. He's got a cap of 26 and a projection of 32. I don't know. I kind of like the matchup. I don't know. Did Derek White move the needle for either of you guys?
Yeah, I like Derek White, and he's been projecting pretty well. I still like Cam Thomas also as well. I mean, I think he's at 18 now. He's starting to climb up, but like if you just watch those games, like he's just chucking, and like everybody seems to be okay with it, and he's putting up those big numbers. So.
Yeah, had a cap of 18 too. That's still pretty nice, right? Like at some point that's going to get up closer to 30 and then it ends up being like a fine play. But right now, that's still a steal right there.
How do you guys,
anybody else? Go ahead, Gnome. Sorry.
I was just going to ask, how do you guys feel about Jordan Poole at 31 playing the Lakers? It's just one game, but with no Steph, how do you guys feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime Steph's out, Jordan Poole becomes like a smash play, and he's shown anytime that he gets that either that starting nod or there's other guys missing that he kind of steps up and picks up the usage.
Yeah, I think I mean, the Lakers is such a good matchup too. It's like Dennis Schroeder and like who else trying to defend him. So I think that's great. I was in a weird spot where I needed somebody in that 30 cap, and I almost bought Jordan Poole today. I like Jordan Poole quite a bit. Anybody else in that mid range before we go up top here?
I'm gonna stay with the Warriors and say that I think Wiggins is also interesting.
Yeah, Wiggins, man, especially because his cap is just low, right? A 26 cap is just like he hasn't put up a big game yet, but good Lord, that's a low cap. Yeah, Ghost, you on the Wiggins train at all?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of Wiggins, and especially like he's kind of like Poole, where when other guys are out, he picks up a lot of the usage. So I'm on with him too.
Yeah. All right. Looks like Pirtle's coming off the bench tonight, by the way. They announced the starting five, Van Fleet, Trent Jr., Barnes, Siakam, Precious Achua. So that's helpful. All right. What is our, give me your, Ghost, you can go first. Give me your favorite MVP this weekend.
MVP. Let's see. I really like Kyrie actually with knowing that Luca's out, and he's got 2 games where a lot of the other main MVP guys only have 1. I think Embiid has 2 as well, but I don't know if he'll play both. So I like Kyrie this week.
Yeah, Kyrie. I'm going to share my lineups here in a second as we start to pivot. But yeah, what's yours, Gnome? What about you?
I think Kyrie is a really good call without Luca. I remember several weeks ago without Durant, he dropped like 90 solo points, right?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So he's a definite like hit or miss. I really like Tatum, obviously, because Jaylen Brown is out. They're playing 2 games. They're playing the Hornets. I mean, what's not to like, right?
That's a great matchup.
Yeah, so I really like Tatum. And what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, those are like the 2 best ones. I think it's kind of like Embiid's questionable every single freaking game. If Embiid plays and say he's like fine and he plays both games, if you get 2 shots at Embiid, that's like 2 shots at the highest score of the weekend. And I think most people will shy away from it, understandably so, because like, what if he misses? But I think I'd be of the mindset of like, there's no way he misses both of these games. And so if he's not going to, in my mind, again, that's the flag I'm planting. If he's not going to miss both of these games and there's a shot he plays 2 games, I like taking the shot at Embiid there. I will show you what my squads are looking like here. You're going to see that I was looking at auctions, but let's go. And then we'll get into some of the Q&As. Nope. Upcoming. Sorry, guys. My teams, these are the ones that I was focused on. My limited champion, speaking of Kyrie, I threw in Kyrie, Ja, Mark Williams, Sabonis, and then I threw in James Wiseman, who I know is not going to play tonight. And now I'm a little soured on it with him not playing, but knowing that I'm still getting 1 game, I think I'm going to let it ride because it just like fits nicely. I'm going to see if I have somebody else, but we got breaking news too that Clarkson is out. So there you go. The sex gods, let it go. But if Wiseman does play that second game, I mean, I love this lineup. And then I threw out Knicks, Brownham, Collins, Cam Thomas, and Bam over here. My no cap is just leftovers. But my rare contender I was kind of excited about too until I get the Wiseman news, right? So it's DeRozan, Mark Williams, Bates, Job, Brownham, and Wiseman. So I think I'm still going to let the Wiseman roll, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. Like the stream, subscribe, put hashtag Gnome is back into the chat for the giveaway. We're at 160 right now. We need 40 more. If we get to 40 more, we give away a rare tier card. If we don't, it's a limited tier, which is still good. Let's get into some of the questions here. We'll start with Jeb. Jeb's saying PJ Washington, who we love here, or Jeremy Grant, who we talked about Grant, who's projecting really well. Let's look at PJ, who is still on the Hornets. Cap at 28, projection at 34. You got Grant, cap at 29, projection at 37. No, where do you land on this one?
It's such a tough one. Are they both? Wait, I know the Hornets are playing twice, right?
Yeah, Hornets are playing twice. Portland's got 1 game.
Just because of that, I would lean PJ because I think
it's the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I think they both has a pretty similar upside, and I would go with PJ just because of 2 games.
Especially on the weekend slate. I feel like when there's not that many teams that have 2 games, like it's such an advantage.
You know, I was even thinking about this tonight as I was building my lineups because I agree with that. I was like, I might start leaning towards teams that just play on Friday. And it's because I've been burned the last couple of weeks where Ja has only had one game. And then on Sunday, we find out he sits. And I was like, man, I'm going to force in guys who play on Friday just so I know, like I have the information. All right, let's get to another one. We get Jock Lindell or Io for Contender. I'm assuming it's Io.
Oh, interesting.
And L10. Okay, that's two. Red Devil. That's so many questions in one. We'll answer the first one. So Jock Lindell, who's like weirdly been scooping up some more minutes lately. He's got a cap of 14 and a projection of 16. Io has a cap of 19 and projection of 15. Ghost, you go first for this one since you are the Chicago native or Chicago fan.
I'm looking at Jock's recent games. He's got 9, 9, 12 for his last 3. Not great. Io's been at least playing consistent minutes, so I'd probably lean Io there.
There you go. Gnome, you land the same way there?
Yeah, I tend to agree. Io is not he's not a high upside guy, but I think he's better than Lindell.
If the Bulls pick up Russell Westbrook, then Io might be in a lot of trouble in terms of being usable.
That's true. That is true. Ja was asking the best play between 20 and 25. So the 20 range, like the two smashes here are Mark Williams and Zach Collins, but I'm assuming because those are inflated.
And Killian Hayes.
And Killian Hayes too. Yeah. Why is Hayes projecting so he's got a cap of 23 projection at 34. Is somebody out that I'm missing for Killian, or is that just like added usage because Saddiq Bey is gone?
I think it's just the fact that they're playing the Spurs and that we've seen him multiple times getting into those 30, 35 solo points performances, I guess.
Yeah. A couple injury things. Al Horford has been ruled out. So there you go. Marcus Smart's still going to miss a bunch of time, and Dario Saric is not going to play for the Thunder tonight. So the Thunder bigs continue to be pretty thinned out here. What about THT with Clarkson out? I thought I saw him projecting well earlier. He's got a cap of 13 and a projection of 20. Anybody goes you biting the THT?
I can get on board with that.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, like, listen, he's shown he's got pretty crazy upside when he's out there, but he's just going to be out there. Our man George says, "Evening, gentlemen. Please pick one between Gary Trent Jr., RJ Barrett, or Aaron Gordon." Well, Aaron Gordon was just listed as questionable, so we can put that into the mix. Gnome, what do you think about this?
So I think Gary Trent has a bigger ceiling, but RJ Barrett will probably play like 40 minutes just because he plays for Tibbs. So, I don't know. True. I guess I would lean Barrett.
Little RJ, yeah. I think I would lean RJ there too. I think I would as well. All right, let me see. Worth taking the risk on Trey Jones this game week. We already know he's been ruled out tonight.
Right?
Yeah. Do they have two? Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think it's worth it looking for food.
I think his replacement is a big upside. I don't know how many minutes he's gonna get, but Devonta Graham in a cap of 14.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think Graham, Beasley, and Brownham, like all of them, run them all out there. It's like one of these times we had this conversation in a show we did on Wednesday about stacking. I think this is one of those weeks where you can get away with that.
Devontae Graham was born to just chuck on a bad team, just like throw up 30 shots a game.
Exactly.
Absolutely. This one's for you, Ghost. You got any thoughts on? Let's just say Siakam. Because it's two different questions. But how are we feeling about Siakam this game week? No trades except for Pirtle, I guess. I don't know. Where do you land?
OG's still out this game, so I still like Siakam. I'm a little cautious of what Toronto is going to look like once Poto gets established, but it sounds like he's coming off the bench. So I'm still high on him. And I think that he still plays that kind of like point center forward. He plays everywhere. So he'll be fine.
Yeah. Levi was asking about the All-Star tournaments. Yeah, we'll talk about that as we get towards the end of it. Well, man, Cows is asking Anthony Gill or Theo Pinson. Dude, this is tough, man. This is tough. I don't know. I mean, I guess Pinson. Let's pull up these. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I would say probably neither, but if I had to choose, I guess Pinson.
Pinson at least has a cap of 5 and a projection of 10. I bet Anthony Gill's not. Yeah, he's not projecting. So there you go. That makes it easy. Go Pinson. All right, let me go. Brunson or Fox? Here's a fun one. Aaron says Brunson or Fox. Let's start with you. Who you got on this one?
Let's see, Brunson has 2 games. Fox has 2 games. That's pretty close. I'm gonna lean De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron
I think
Fox.
Nick's got a lot of firepower right now. That makes me feel like Brunson's ceiling might be a little bit more limited with less shots to go around.
Yeah, I like that. What about you? What about you, Gnome? Where are you landing?
I feel the same. I'm actually planning to play Fox in one of my lineups tonight. Just didn't decide if in the contender or the champion, but I like Fox tonight.
I like
the
Fox
slate.
too. I think Fox is just more fun to play, and that's probably why I would do it. Like Brunson projects better, but I still always lean Fox. Top Shot Tesla dropped a little super chat. He says, we need a questions drop. Happy
Nice.
Friday. Like the streamer, your favorite team will sign Russell Westbrook. I will say Top Shot Tesla has the right idea here. If you hear my Boston accent, your right idea here. If you put in a super chat, I will 100% share your question right away because it's easy for me to find. Really, it is. So that's why I would do it. So if you do that, I will grab your question right away. Mun Bjork says, can you rank these guys? So we get Xavier Tillman. I don't know which Green that is. I guess it would be Green from
Josh Green, probably.
Josh Green, yeah. Brownham and Cam Thomas. Rank those in. Okay, all right. Well, Ghost, you go first, and Gnome, I'll have you both do them. But how would you rank those? Worst, best to worst.
I'd probably go Cam Thomas, Brownham, Green, Tillman.
Yeah. What about you, Gnome?
I'll just do one change. I'll do Cam Thomas, then Josh Green, then Brownham and Tillman.
Yeah, I think I'm basically the same as you guys. I think Tillman. I like Tillman. I think Tillman's like an easy 22 points, but we've seen Green can give you 45, Brownham can give you 45, Cam can get you 45. Like I think that's where you do the upside there. Mike, I think this is a great question. He says, worth playing Mark Williams and Nick Richards. I think you can. I think they can both.
I was just thinking.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it. Yeah.
You're using 30 cap points basically to get all 48 minutes from the 5, right? So you're using like 30 cap to take all of the center minutes for the Hornets. What do you think, Ghost?
Yeah, I mean, I like both those. I think JT Thor is probably going to be in play. And then I saw someone else in the chat mention Gordon Hayward, whose cap is like super low. I think it's at like 18. So he might be interesting as well.
Wow. A couple of things here. Muscala is going to make the debut tonight for the Celtics, it looks like. LeBron James is questionable for tomorrow. AD is probable for tomorrow. So there you go again with LeBron. All right, let me catch up here. What else we got? I know I'm behind here. Gabe Vincent, a decent play this week. Don't have many cards yet. So, yeah, Kyle Lowry sounds like he might never play basketball again. The one thing about Gabe is I believe he is questioned. Yeah, he's probable. Okay, so that's a good sign. Cap at 16, projection at 29.5. Gnome, how are we feeling about that Miami backcourt?
I think it's a pretty good value play. If he plays, was he questionable or something?
He was probable, yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good play. In general, I think the Heat has a few good ones like Hero, Butler, Vincent. I think they're all legit.
Yeah, Vincent's gotten 37 and 34 minutes in his last 2, so he's getting on the court. So you just got to hope that he produces.
Yeah, I just need that shot to fall. He's another one too, doesn't he? He's not usually going to give you like 8 assists and 4 rebounds. Like you need him to get 28 points. But yeah, I like Gabe there for that cap. Let's look. A lot of questions about Robert Williams in the chat now with all of that news, right? Let's see what the Time Lord is. Time Lord's going to cap a 25, projection at 36.5. I mean, he's got a ceiling of 50 if he can just stay on the court, you know? So I like taking the shot on Robert Williams, but there you go. All right. Weisberg saying Bridges, Dinwiddie, or Gideon champion. Bridges. Okay, so last spot there. I don't know. Ghost. Sorry. Gnome this time. Gnome first. Where are you landing with the Spencer Dinwiddie situation here in Brooklyn?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like Dinwiddie. I think I would tend more towards Giddey. Yeah,
they have one game too. Same thing with Bridges. Like I just don't know what their role is going to be. What about you, Ghost?
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Dinwiddie's coming off 52 Sorare points, but that was without Bridges and those other guys.
Right.
I do think that Brooklyn's going to be a team that is going to be really valuable for Sorare purposes. I think that they have a lot of like not really a ton of stars, but a bunch of like role players that are going to be popping. But I think we need to get a clearer picture of what they're going to be looking like.
Yeah, I agree. All right, here we go. Luca versus Halliburton versus Ant-Man. So, I mean, I do not trust that Luca is going to play this weekend. So, let's just do. I don't. Does anybody feel differently about that?
With the All-Star break right here, I just don't know why they would risk him for like one more game if he's already sitting out the first one. But
yeah,
that's what I was thinking about, because Luca is my MVP always. Like, I have his limited, I always play him. So trying to think if I should risk it or just play. I don't know. Like, I have Ant as a backup MVP. So
I think if you have Ant, I'd roll out Ant. Like, that's what I was just going to suggest. Ant and Halliburton have similar projections here. There's only like a point or two difference, but I don't know. I just don't trust that Luke is going to play this week.
And Halliburton has 2 games to Anthony Edwards 1. So
there you go. All right, that could be a tiebreaker. All right, here we go. Is Blake Griffin a big play with Big Al out? So I would have been pro Blake if I knew. If I knew Muscala wasn't playing, but Muscala's in, so I think that's pretty dicey. Anybody that's not Robert Williams is pretty dicey, I think.
Yeah, I'm out on Blake Griffin now that people are they got Muscala and the rotations back intact a little bit. I think that he was just a 1-game fill in there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, I'm going to scroll all the way down. I'm sorry if I missed some. There are a lot in the chat because we get 163 here, which is a reminder. If you haven't liked the stream, subscribe, put hashtag Gnome is back into the chat. You haven't entered the giveaway yet. If we get up to 200, it will be a rare tier. Right now, it's a limited tier. Actually, we spin it twice if we get up to 200, by the way. But you're going to like the stream, subscribe, put hashtag Gnome is back into the chat. All right. I just saw a question. Would you play AD? Yeah, I would. He's probable. Like, if you normally would play AD, I would play AD. I think he's going to play this weekend. I'm not too worried about it. Right? Or is anyone concerned about that? I mean, I know probable and it's Anthony Davis, but I feel like he's going to go.
I saw some tweet that he was grimacing on the sideline. And they're like, that's 3 weeks minimum that he's going to be out. So
because he grimaced.
I think he could be a sleeper just because of the matchup. I mean, usually the games against Golden State are high-scoring games, and like, I don't know how Looney and Draymond can stop him.
Yeah, I'm with you. If I have Anthony Davis, I'm rolling him out. All right, Charles says Richards, Obaji, Watford. Which two? Man, Watford boned me this week in one of my contenders, but is he? I guess he's still projecting pretty well. Which two would you take here, Gnome?
I just a hunch. I would go with Watford and Richards.
Wow. All right, there we go. What about you, Ghost?
I agree.
Wow. All right. That just says like Al Pacino. Wow. I think I would go Obaji and Richards here. I think I'm going to go on the Obaji train. All right. What else? No soccer beer tonight. No, George, no soccer beer tonight. Oh, man. So many questions, baby. All right, Hamey, there we go. Any value at all left in Walker Kessler? This is how you get a question asked immediately, boys and girls. Walker Kessler. Let's look up Walker Kessler Ranger. Ghost, what's your take on the Walker Kess situation?
I think Walker Kessler's awesome. His cap is getting pretty high. So, I mean, I don't know if that was where the question was going, is if there's any value left there. But from like an actual like performance standpoint, like he's still very good and is only going to have more opportunities now that they kind of traded away a lot of guys.
Yeah, his cap is getting up there, but I don't hate it. I think because he's like a block rebound guy. He's fun to watch. I'm fine with that. The chat seems to like him. What do you think about Sabonis and Herter? Well, listen, Sabonis is like one of my favorites this week, and I know Sabonis has been underperforming a little bit, but if we look at his cap, I mean, a cap of 38 right now for a guy that was like regularly putting up 50. So clearly not that regularly since his cap is back down to 38. But one of those games he got ejected. There's been he like fouled out of one of these games. I don't know. I love Sabonis. Where are you at with Sabonis?
I mean, I feel a similar way about him and Jeremy Grant, where it's like you can get a value of like a guy who could potentially go for 70 points, like at 30s or high 20s. Like you got to do that. And like winning those top tier rewards are all about like swinging for the fences. So like a guy like that at that low of a cap is just a huge value play. Yeah,
absolutely. Herter doesn't project as well. Cap of 25, projection of 25, but Herter's fine too. He knocks down shots. Germ from So Rare says, pay to have questions answered? No, thanks. LMAO. Germ, I'm still answering some of the other ones, but there's 173 fucking ones out there. So it's hard to get to every question. That's all I was saying. Doctor Who threw this out here and didn't even ask a question. Shout out Doctor Who. Reggie Bullock or Grant Williams? Let's look at Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock has been balling the last couple of games. I can't believe I feel like I'm going to say him. He's got a cap of 20 and a projection of 23. How about Grant Man? We call him Grant Man, cap of 15, projection of 17. How do you feel about that?
You got to go with Reggie Bullock right now. He's coming
He's
off
got
45 points and 36 points in the last two. I mean, Grant Williams his ceiling's a little bit capped there.
Yeah. I think I'm going. I'm with you. I'm going with you. Hold on. Sorry, I'm just checking to make sure any other injury news came out. Jayson Tatum officially available to play tonight. There you go. In case there was concern. Mario says Cam is still a good pick. Yeah, I think Cam. I mean, we are going to see Cam's cap come up, but he's still going to take a bunch of shots, right?
Yeah, I mean, he had a horrible game against the Bulls last night, and he still had 26 points, which is fine for an 18 cap now. It's getting a little bit more crowded with Bridges and them coming, but I still think that they want to develop him, and you don't ignore someone who just scored 40 points in 3 straight games. So I think he's still going to have a lot of opportunity. Yeah,
I think you're running out Cam until his cap gets up to 35, and then we can have another conversation around it. Dr. Who sent over some Argentina money, said, feedback, please. Sabonis, Hardaway, Tillman, Graham, and Wainwright contender. I mean, all of these names sound great, and you got Sabonis in a contender. Wainwright's the one that I'm curious to see how he's projecting. Oh, yeah, he's projecting great with a cap of 14 and projection of 22. I don't know. How you feeling about this, Ghost?
Well, I didn't even realize that Wainwright's coming off a 43-point Sorare game. So, yeah, I love that. That was my big concern on that one, too, was Wainwright, because I wasn't really sure about him. But looks like he's got some opportunity right now, so I love that lineup.
Yeah, and Wainwright's benefited too from blowouts. As the Suns been getting killed, Wainwright's been playing a little bit more too. All right, what else? You said you said who else is absolutely done with Common until further notice? What do you mean? Like the rapper? What do you mean, Hamim? All right, what else we got here? Thoughts on McDaniel's role in Philly, in the Phillies? I like that he's playing baseball. I don't know. I touched upon it a little bit. Where are you at with McDaniel's?
I liked him better on Charlotte, probably. He's just a little bit of a headache. He's so inconsistent. I've been burned by McDaniels so many times, both McDaniels twins this year. So I'm not thrilled with that move, and I feel like he's not going to have nearly as many touches. Maybe he could get those peripheral stats a little bit more, but I need to see a couple games from him before I start throwing him. Yeah,
he's going to be a wait and see. I like McDaniels. I think he's a good piece. I just don't know, this is the thing that I was talking about, the trade deadline. Anybody gets traded to a good team is going to have a lesser role, right? No one's coming in there and it's going to be, well, except for Kevin Durant. And so, yeah, I think it runs a little risk. Hellier was saying, what about PG with Kawhi out? I actually missed the news that Kawhi was out. I didn't see that, but
he's injury management.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Paul George is a great play with Kawhi's in or out. I mean, his cap's only 37. It's like the Sabonis situation, right?
Yep.
Where do you see all this information? Who's cleared to play games? I'm looking at Underdog. Here, I'll drop the Twitter in here. I use Underdog. Shout out Underdog.com for all of your best ball and pick'em needs. Sign up using promo code HOLD for a deposit bonus. There you go. Gary Trent Jr. for 2 games, says Alberto. Or Klay Thompson for 1 game. The 1 game is against the Lakers, which we talked about. I don't know, Ghost. How you feeling about that?
Let me look up Gary Trent here. Clay's been pretty hot lately.
He has been hot.
I probably lean him, even though I like the 2 games. I'm always a 2-game maxi over 1 game. But I think I have to lean Clay just with how scorching hot he is with no stuff.
Yeah, and he's just got so many shots that are coming his way. Matt's saying Brogdon or Boyan. And again, I have named Brogdon Bogdanovic. Yeah, Boyan Bogdanovic. Let's look at Boyan first in the crazy ass Detroit team. So he's got a cap of 33 and a projection of 34. Malcolm Brogdon, who again, no Marcus Smart, no Jaylen Brown. He's got a cap of 32 and a projection of 36. You get 2 games. You know they're going to have no Jaylen Brown and no Marcus Smart for both those games. I think I go Brogdon here. What about you?
I agree. I can't believe that Detroit didn't trade Boyan.
I know, me neither. I was listening to, I think it was the Bill Simmons podcast. They were talking about having an adult in the room. That's why they're keeping him, but I don't know. Vincent was saying Embiid 55 in 2 games or AD 45 in 1 game. This is Embiid, right?
Yeah, I'm going Embiid.
Even if Embiid sits tonight, because then it's Embiid 1 game or AD 1 game, and I think I still want Embiid there. Alan says, evening, gents, Jalen Green, Jordan Poole, or Clint Capella. Jalen Green has been hot ass lately. He has been a tough watch. I feel like this is Jordan Poole without looking. I don't know. Do you have a lean?
Look up.
They're all right next to each other. Look at that. That's funny.
Jalen Green's coming off 2 44-point games.
Well, I refuse to watch the Rockets, so I'm not gonna. Whatever.
They've all got one game. I think I would lean Jalen Green there. It's either Jalen Green or Poole, probably over Capella.
Yeah, Capella seems to be like a consistent 45. Not 45. Like 38 to 40, which is nice, but you're not going to get a 50-point game from him. Also, we are 20 away. 20 away. Like the stream, subscribe, put hashtag Gnome is back so we can get to 200. So Rare, the best NFT game, says on Friday, Celtics team president Brad Stevens said the plan is to sit Tatum for the February 15th game against the Pistons. There you go. Gnome is back. Welcome back, Gnome. All right, let me see.
Sorry, internet fell down.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. We only touched upon Simone Fontecchio for a brief minute here. How do the Utah man? Does anybody have a strong take for this man with a cap of 2 and a projection of 12.5?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know anything about him.
He popped one other time this
play.
year. He popped. I shout out the No Dunks crew. That's the only reason I know who Fontecchio is. They did like a fun little short on him. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a cap of 2, man. If he gets you 8 points, you're still vibing. You know, if that makes the rest of your lineup work, then go for it. I wouldn't. That would be like my last thing that I figured out. If you have this perfect lineup, you're like, man, if I just punt one spot, sure, go for it. But I wouldn't like start with him and then figure it out. You know.
Well, and when we go through these, not everybody has every player, obviously, and
Right.
some people can only use what they got. So, like, he played 23 minutes in his last game. So sometimes you just got to play the guys that are on the court, and Utah doesn't have a lot of people to play right now. So,
yeah, let it rip. Let it rip. Fontecchio
Right.
season.
I was just gonna say that when I think about it, it also got like an upside in case there's like a blowout and maybe you could get extended minutes. Yeah, could be
Absolutely.
interesting.
We haven't really talked about Roby outside of the fact that he was starting for the Spurs tonight. So let me pull up Isaiah Roby. He is one of the few dudes left on the team tonight. He has a cap of 7, a projection of 18.6. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys have thoughts? I know like everyone's like Zach Collins, plug him in. That's the Spurs big man. Any thoughts on Roby?
Roby's had like 2 good games this season, maybe. Yeah, he gives me big Dwight Powell vibes. Just doesn't always do a lot with his minutes, so I'm not huge on him compared to some of the other Spurs plays he got.
Yeah. What about you, Gnome?
I'm smiling because when I think about Roby, I just remember this Top Shot challenge when he got like a lot of rebounds, and everybody needed Isaiah Roby. You know?
Isaiah Roby Top Shot debut, baby.
So I don't know, just because of that, I remember that maybe he does have some upside to give good games, but yeah.
He's foul trouble prone. That's what I know about Roby. The one thing I will say though, like if everyone is trying to fit in the same type of cheap guys right there, and all of the not cheap but low L10s and all of their prices have gone up, this is like a nice way where you're like, okay, I can probably access a similar ceiling here and pay $4 instead of $14. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it if you're deciding between those two. And a cap of 7, I mean, you could do worse. You could do worse. All right, Mario is saying, what do you think of all these guys? Cam Thomas, Nick Richards, Gabe Vincent, Clay, Gary, Trent. So that's your whole squad. Is that your contender squad? Cam, Richards, Gabe, Clay, Gary. That sounds pretty solid to me. There's nobody I hate there. Any you guys want to weigh in on that?
No, I mean, we've hit on most of those guys. I think that they're all in play. Nick Richards is probably the riskiest one, but we've talked about him and he's probably going to get minutes tonight. So I like it all.
Cap of 10 with Nick is what makes it easier, right? If Nick Richards' cap was like 15, I'd be a little bit more hesitant, but 10 is just like, they didn't have to do much, you know? Gnome, I know you talked about Devontae Graham a little bit, I think we got Gabe Vincent or Devontae Graham. How are we feeling about that?
I'm gonna go with the high risk, high reward. I'm gonna go with Graham because if he gets like 25-ish minutes, he's a guy who likes
shots.
Yeah, he's a guy who likes to shoot plenty of 3-pointers, and he can get a few assists. So I think his ceiling could be higher.
Yeah, I like that. I saw a couple of Jaren Jackson Jr. questions in here, right? So Ransom Reed says Triple J or Jimmy Butler, same cap, both of 2 games. Farad said Jaren Jackson Jr. or Donovan Mitchell. So let's take a look at Triple J. We haven't really talked about him at all tonight. It's crazy that he's in the same conversation as the other 2 guys you mentioned, right? So Triple J here, cap at 37, projection of 41. Jimmy Butler's cap is low, 37, projection of 46.4. And so is Donovan Mitchell. Holy shit. Wild. All right. So between those three guys, how would you rank those three? So Jaren Jackson Jr., Paul George. No, I'm sorry. Jaren Jackson Jr., Jimmy Butler, or Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I like all three of those guys.
Hmm.
I'm probably going. Donovan's been a little sluggish of late. He's like got 35, 28, 23 here. I'd probably rank it. Jaren Jackson probably at the bottom just because I think he has the lowest ceiling of the three. Then Donovan Mitchell, and then Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I really like Jimmy Butler this week. What about you, Gnome?
So I think definitely as far as like ceiling, we've seen Donovan Mitchell put up 100 solo points once, right? So as far as the ceiling, I think like Donovan Mitchell can reward you the most. But specifically for this game slate, I would say I'd go probably Butler first, Mitchell second, and then Jackson.
Yeah, that's where I'm landing too. I would go in that order, and I Triple J is like one of my favorite players, but I would go in that as well. Also, shout out my man Patrick Coyne. Patrick Coyne just sent over Rudy Gobert to be given away, so shout him out. Let's see. We talked about Gordon Hayward a little bit, right, with this low cap. Josh Ness is asking about Gordon Hayward or Dillon Brooks. Let's look up Gordon Hayward right now. He's got a cap of 18 and a projection of 26. That is a solid play here. Dillon Brooks, who I hate in my heart, he's got a cap of 19 and a projection of 24. I don't know. Both of these scare the shit out of me. How do you guys feel about the? We'll start with Gnome. Start with you.
I like Hayward better. I'm scared of both of them as well, but if I had to choose, I'd take Hayward.
Yeah. What about you, Ghost?
I agree. Dillon Brooks has been trash for the last like 5 games, and I don't like him in general. So I think Gordon Hayward has a little more upside with Charlotte having pretty much no one left to play.
Yeah. George with a great comment here. Hayward or Brooks, who gets injured or ejected first? That one. Yeah, that is true. Couponbudget.com. How do you get access to this spreadsheet? Is it a Momentum Labs premium thing? Yes, it is. There's a link in the chat. I think it's like $9 a month or something. All right, hold on. There was something else. Anthony, we haven't really talked about this question. That's a good one. Jalen Noel, excuse me. A good player, too risky. So Conley is playing tonight. I don't know how many minutes, but Noel's cap is like 14 now. I don't know. What do you guys make of we'll start with Ghost this time. What do you make of like the Minnesota backcourt?
I mean, he's coming off a huge game. He had 56 Sorare points this past game week. I am a little concerned about like Conley and some of the other guys taking away some of his minutes. But I mean, he's been pretty good for them this year. So I think that he's definitely in play at a 14 cap there.
Yeah, I like that. I'm a little nervous. I kind of want to see how it plays out. Like, are they still, because I know Jordan McLaughlin is back too, but I mean, he cooked. He absolutely cooked in this last game. And if they only play Conley like 18 minutes, that's enough time to cook there. All right, a couple of other things I wanted to get to. I don't know who to choose. Paul George with 1 or Kessler with 2. I mean, it's Paul George, right? No one's taking Walker Kessler over Paul George here, right?
Probably not.
It's a tough one, but because Kessler plays twice, and we've seen like games out of him when he absolutely went wild with like 7 blocks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But without Kawhi, I would probably just stick with Paul George.
Yeah, I'm with that. Marcus is saying, how is LaMelo projecting? Yeah, we haven't talked about LaMelo at all. He's been playing really well lately. Cap of 44 and a projection of 52. He feels like a second guy in champion lineup if you have him.
Well, now they've got Mark Williams. He's got Mark Williams in the lineup with him now. It's just going to be Lob City.
Cook. I like that.
Love it.
Just Mike was asking about Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I don't even know what team he's on anymore after.
He's on the Wolves now.
He's on the Wolves. Okay. Yeah. I don't think you can play him.
Right? I think.
Yeah, he's on the Wolves now. I'd be waiting to see what his role is there before putting him in a lineup.
Yeah, it's too risky. I'm also thinking if I should play Noel tonight.
Cap 14 is nice. I mean, I like it. I think it's like a good mid-range play. I agree with what Ghost was saying. Alex was asking about Paul George or Porzingis if you only had to pick one. Porzingis, who's been just freaking efficient he's taken a ton of shots. We know no Kuzma. Cap 41, projection of 45. Or what was the other one? It was Paul George. I mean, where are you going?
I like Porzingis a lot with no Kuzma. I still think probably Paul George has the bigger upside overall.
I know. I actually was just thinking, I'm gonna Was it this one? Would you play Porzingis over Bam?
I probably would, yeah. Personally.
I like the matchup too. I think they're playing the Pacers, right?
Yeah. Although, where's my Porzingis card? Oh, because I got to take it out. Right? Hey, do I have it in another? What's going on?
Maybe you put him in a different lineup.
It's in your burner.
Oh, I bet no. It's in this one right here. I forgot I
So
just filled out the limited no cap after. But yeah, that because I was sitting on this one for a while, but this was before I knew that Kuz was out. So there we go, and that leaves 5. Man, I would love to get off to Shin Knicks too. That would get. Sorry, I'm doing this live. I don't care, guys. Yeah, it's like I was just off one off of one off of Devontae. Damn, man, that's too bad. I don't think I can play Shaden Sharp or anything like that. I just don't really want to play Knicks, or Watford. I guess would you play Watford over Knicks?
Yeah, I would play Watford over Knicks for sure.
There we go. All right. Win it all, baby. All right. Sorry, guys. We had to do that live. That's what happens. I'm in charge, though. All right. Kelly Olynyk or Brownham? We haven't talked about Olynyk at all. How's he project? Did I spell it wrong? Oh, yeah, I did. All right. He's got a cap of 19 and projection of 23. And we already talked about Brownham, right? He's got a cap of 19 and projection of 23. So it's pretty damn close. I don't know. Did either of you have a strong lean, or you're just flipping a coin right there?
I'd personally flip a coin. I think that they're pretty close.
Yeah.
Olynyk puts up numbers. Brownham's in a good situation, so.
Yeah,
I feel pretty much the same.
People tell me to play Livers. Are we playing Isaiah Livers tonight? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
It's depressing.
Anybody have a Christian Wood take? Is he still on a minutes limit?
I just think his cap is too high.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, we're just a few minutes away here before we wrap up. So we need to make sure you get your submission. We get 153 watching. I know 153
Let's
entrants,
go.
only 181 watching. That means we're 19 away from 200. No excuses. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel. #Gnome is back. I want to make sure we hit some of your content, and then we'll hit a few more questions as well before we get out of here. But Gnome, I know you had a thread today. I'm going to share that into the chat so people are following you on Twitter. You want to talk to us a little bit about some of the content you've been cooking up?
Yeah, sure. So I made a thread today. You guys are welcome to check it out on my Twitter. It's just Noam Thornberg. And I've been doing something interesting lately on my free time. I decided to do like a deep dive into MVP history, and I kind of went over all 30 weeks and wrote down. I made an Excel sheet which player like won every single week, like how many times he was in the top 5, top 10, and I'm planning to do a video on it. So it was pretty interesting. I can tell you guys on the top of my head that Jokic and Doncic in the first 30 weeks both were number 1 4 times.
Wow.
And they were and that was the most.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's 8 of the first 30. It's nuts. That's awesome, dude. I'm excited for that to come out. That'll be a fun watch or a fun read or watch or however you end up doing it.
Both.
Ghost, I'm dropping your newsletter into the chat right now. Why don't you hit us, talk to us a little bit about what you got going on over at Lucky Trader.
Yeah, so I write the Sorare Game Week Primer every Monday, every Friday. Usually comes out around 1 p.m. Central. Hits all the injury news, roster updates, give a little look at the previous game week, and then give a bunch of value picks. So if you like this type of content, feel free to put your newsletter in there and get that in your inbox.
Absolutely. Check both of those things out. You can find the links in the chat. Just drop them in there. You'll also find them if you're watching after the fact. You'll see them in the description in the show notes. If this is your first time here, we do a basketball show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern every day, just kind of recapping what happened the night before, talk a little bit of Top Shot, a little bit of So Rare, but mostly just basketball. We do value hunting on Mondays and Thursdays to break down the upcoming game week. And then we do this show. Ghost and I are here both on Monday and Friday. Gnome joins us on Fridays occasionally, and TST joins us on Monday occasionally. So definitely tune into all that stuff. I'm going to drop a link to the Discord too. If you haven't joined the Discord, come hang out. It's a good time. All right. We'll say like 5 or 6 more questions, and then we'll get on out of here. I saw Milo talking about Beal. What do we think about Beal? Like, I feel like we still have not seen a ceiling game from Brad. We have no Kuz. Like, does that move the needle? No. Like, what do you think about him?
He's been a little disappointing this year, but every now and then he can exceed his cap pretty nicely. I guess it's also matchup dependent. Without Kuz playing against the Pacers, I think it's a pretty interesting option.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, what about Ghost? You any thoughts on
I mean,
on Beal?
So he missed 2 games. Before that, he had 45 and 41. Then he missed the 2, and then he had 45 again. So at a 30 cap, I mean, I think that he's got some nice upside there.
Yeah, some nice room to run. All right, Mad Game said, "Hey Mike, do you think Giannis is going to play tonight with right knee soreness, or should I play it safe and put LeBron in?" So LeBron is more likely to sit than Giannis. Giannis is probable tonight, so I'd play Giannis here, especially because it's tonight. I feel like you get a better chance of knowing that information before lock. Where LeBron, who knows what's going to happen.
Do you guys think LeBron woke the points record and he's like, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna rest now?
Yeah, he's like, I'm tired. I took down a lot of tequila and wine the night before. Embiid is available. That's coming in right now. So Embiid is going to play tonight. So that I think will be my favorite MVP for this weekend. The 2 games of Joel Embiid I'm excited about. Anthony was saying, what do you think about Nasir Little? We talked about Nasir Little at the beginning. Ghost really likes him this week. It's a good spot for Portland. Good spot for the bigs in Portland because they're down Nurkic and now Josh Hart. Nasir Little makes a ton of sense. I don't know. Do you guys care about Sam Hauser? I know he is coming off a great game, shot the ball well. How do we feel about Sammy Hauser? Anybody care?
I'm worried about his role, kind of, reduced with Muscala coming in. I think that someone like him might take the hit, or like Luke Cornett. I think those guys are gonna be a little bit more risky now.
Yeah, I think so too.
I would just say that specifically this game slate, I think Hauser could do better than Nasir Little.
There you go. Let him chuck. Let Sammy chuck. Because he said Sammy's playing the Hornets. So there you go. Maybe the Celtics kick the shit out of him. Hauser plays like the last 45 minutes. All right, let's end with this. Also, just a reminder, like the stream, subscribe. Get your last calls in here. Hashtag Gnome is back. What did you guys think about the All-Star announcement tonight? Did you see the So Rare All-Star announcement?
I'm not 100% informed. I just know there's going to be some competition related to the All-Star game.
Yeah, I can pull up the announcement here and we can look at it, or pull up the blog. But yeah, they announced NBA All-Star Weekend competitions are coming for Game Week 35. They're gonna have a Saturday night competition and then an All-Star all offense. They didn't have the link. I thought that was going to be the link. Hold on. Which I think is kind of cool.
I love that. Anything that has more competitions or interesting, unique like lineup situations is going to be fun. And it's going to make more people want to watch the All-Star game and actually have like some stake in it. So I think that's really fun.
Yeah. So this, I think it's going to be great. I love that they have stuff going on. So they got all Saturday night eligible cards, limited, rare, super rare, unique, no cap, no MVP. Scoring, players earn 50 points for each event they win, 30 points for each event they finish second, and 10 for each one. Common All-Star Saturday night eligible cards, common, same thing. And then Sundays, that all offense, no cap, no MVP, eligible scoring categories, points, assists, rebounds, 3-pointers, double-doubles, and triple-doubles. They didn't include defense because defense isn't played in the All-Star game.
I think that's going to be fun for Common as well, because I think a lot of people's usual complaint about Common is that they have a ton of high-value guys that they can't use. So this is going to be like the perfect opportunity to use them.
Yeah, this is going to be a good time. And I will be excited to be reporting live from All-Star Game Weekend. Dustin and I are going to be out there for the All-Star. Shout out So Rare. So Rare helped make that happen. So that's pretty exciting.
Oh, wow. That's very exciting.
Excited to meet their team while we're out there and make some more content and do some fun stuff. But yeah, we're going to be out there Friday. We're going to checking out the No Dunk Show on Friday. We'll be at the dunk contest, the three-point contest in the All-Star Game on Sunday. So it should be a good time. All right, this is it. Last call. Let's spin this stuff. That's the wrong tab. Here we go. Let's spin it. If you win, we did not hit rare tier. We hit rare tier on Monday. We didn't hit it today. That's okay. So if you win this thing, shoot me a DM either at Mike Zakarian on Twitter. Go follow Ghost on Twitter. Go follow Gnome on Twitter. And shoot me a DM in the Discord or on Twitter. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Let's see who's taking this down.
People just love TST. That's why I had 200 on Monday.
That's right. Yeah, the TST bump. Hair Canada. NCL, let's go. Big W, big W. Thanks for being here. Shoot me a DM. We'll get you that card. Best of luck, everybody. Gnome, thanks for joining. Ghost, thanks for joining. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We will see you Monday.